When I came to the Philippines, I stayed first in Davao and I traveled all over the Mindanao Island. And even before coming here on my exploratory trip, I spent 1 month in Mindanao. And people often ask me, is it really so dangerous in Mindanao? Are there really so many terrorists and kidnappings? Am I allowed to go? Because my travel advisory tells me not to go in these regions. Now, I never felt really in danger, but this is very personal and individual. So I wanted to know what the statistics and the data really say. Now, the first thing people often talk about is the danger of being kidnapped. Is this real? It is not a media hype. Of course, as soon as something is connected to Islamic terrorism, the media will spread it much more than if it's a normal crime. But it is documented by police data, it is confirmed by conflict monitors, and 5 governments' travel advisories tell you it is real. And I know it is. It was quite common like 15 years ago, but in the last 5 years, frankly, the only kidnapping I know about is the one of an American who lived in the region, who was married to a Muslim girl and who, as much as it appears, didn't behave very properly in this environment. So he was finally kidnapped and killed. It seems that the people in the village warned him that people could kidnap him. So it exists. But the danger objectively is not very big. And who are the perpetrators who really kidnaps foreigners? There are 2 distinct threats. The traditional one is the Abu Sayyaf group, which is a kind of armed Islamic group, but frankly it's more an armed criminal group that use Islam as a pretense to make kidnapping for money. And recently, much more, the syndicates of this offshore gaming conglomerates, those POGO as they are called, these offshore gaming hubs are often operated by criminals, mainly from China, and they mainly target Chinese nationals. So this doesn't not concern the average Western foreigner who lives in the Philippines and who will probably watch my video. Did those kidnapping happen all over Mindanao? Yes. A long time ago, like 10 or 15 years ago, some kidnappings happened even in Davao or Summer Island. But in the last 5 to 10 years, they mainly happen in certain areas, mainly in the Sulu Islands, which are south, an island chain south of Mindanao. Basilan, which is the first of those islands. Tawi-Tawi, also one of those islands, close to Indonesia, to Malaysia, and in parts of the Zamboanga Peninsula. The rest of the Islamic autonomous region doesn't have the same risk. I don't say it can't happen, but the risk is much smaller there. Now, what about the danger of being murdered as a foreigner in the Philippines? It exists. Just recently, close to the place where I live, close to the Magete, an American scientist was murdered. It's not really clear who were the perpetrators. There are indications it was more a conflict with his girlfriend or maybe the family, and nobody knows for sure. So yes, between 1 and 5 foreigners are murdered in the Philippines, in the whole country. Is it a lot? Is it not a lot? Difficult to say. I compared those numbers to international numbers, and the danger for an American living in the US to be murdered is about the same of an American living here in the Philippines. And when we compare with Western Europe, then of course the risk is much higher because the numbers of murders in Western Europe are much lower than those in the USA. And what is objectively the real risk for a foreigner living in the Philippines or in the Philippines to be killed or severely injured? It's not what you mentioned before, the kidnappings or the murder. The real killer here is the traffic. A foreigner is 20 to 50 times more likely to die in a traffic accident than to be murdered. And the same foreigner is 100 to 500 times more likely to be injured in a traffic accident and to be kidnapped. So when we speak about danger, consider the main danger. And it's a danger nobody can avoid because all of us, we have to use the traffic, be it on our own vehicle, motorcycle, or car, or be it using the public transport, jeepneys, buses. Earlier in the Philippines, 50 to 100 foreigners are killed in traffic accidents. 1 to 5 foreigners are murdered, and the danger of being kidnapped is between 0 and 2 per year. So you see where the real danger is.